Hi everyone. I just wanted to answer some more questions that I frequently get asked. First one's about something I recently learned about morphic resonance. Or well, I didn't recently learn about it. I kind of already knew about it. Just like it's probably better known as the Akashic Records. So like Morphic resonance is just, I guess, the Western scientific version. I mean, not everybody, probably most people, have never really heard of it, don't know about it, but I mean, it's something that's been going on for as long as humanity's been around. So, I mean, whether people understand or not, it happens. Morphic resonance. It has a let's start with a study. It was done at Harvard University when they had a group of rats who were like lab rats who were taught how to like escape a water maze, and then they conducted the same experiment at a Manchester university, and they noticed that the rats had a shorter like they had an easier time learning how to do it, the same trick. And I mean, at each successive uh, lab where they tried to teach the rats how to do it, the rats they found out quicker. So other examples like first person to climb a mountain. If a mountain's never been climbed before, well, for the first person, it's definitely the hardest because I guess they don't know really what to expect, or and it's just the hardest for the hardest person to do it. And the next person that's a little easier, the next person that's a little easier, and the next person that's a little easier, and it keeps going forever ad infinitum. And I guess it gets faster. Like at first, maybe there was one person who climbed it the first year, then next year there were like three people, then next year there were like six people, then next year there were like 12 people, then 24 people, then 56 people, then it keeps going like yeah, morphic resonance, it affects everyone. That's why uh I guess a good quote for it would be what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So just think any actions you take throughout your life, whatever thoughts or actions you make, it affects everyone else around you. I mean, more so the people that are closest to you, especially in your family or your friends or that you interact with directly, but also people that live in your community nearby. And then eventually, like through the wind, it'll that vibratory impact you make will travel throughout the wind, the atmosphere, and eventually get to other countries. And that's why prayer works. See, when people they put in a vibratory imprint into the like the ether with their intentions, they send out a frequency that kind of tells other people how to behave in a certain way or to have a certain thought, because yeah, our thoughts influence reality. um so it has to do with the vibratory imprint. So like the first person or the more people who I guess become vegan or give up soda or I don't know, become a black belt in taekwondo, or I don't know, become skilled at the art of painting. It's easier for more people to, I don't know, get black belt in taekwondo, become vegan, give soda, or learn or be skilled at painting. But then that also means whenever a person like becomes addicted to cigarettes or uh abuses their child or or becomes a rapist or I don't know breaks into a car, like or whenever a person, I don't know, falls off their bike, it becomes more likely that everyone else around them will also do those things. So, of course, there's kind of this, or it's weighing the odds. It's like scale of like, okay, is it more likely to do this or more likely? Because I mean, from our past experiences, we're always, influenced by positive experiences. That includes what our ancestors did. That's why maybe Native Americans are more tend to be more enlightened, or it's easier for them because they their ancestors, they also did a lot of I don't know, I guess work, or I don't know, their ancestors probably relaxed because I mean they'd have to worry about like bills, or Native Americans back before modern era, did they worry about much? Um, Probably not as much as we do now. Then you can see this in other countries, like how in Egypt, the ancient Egyptians had the most stories about magic and otherworldly travel. So of course, if you're into like magic and otherworldly travels, that's your best bet. Go to Egypt. Um, I guess for like the reason that blacks, Jews, and women are more likely to become vegan is because uh, they know what it's like to be oppressed. Like we have a history of that, and so a lot of things are aside through history. And remember that these influences I'm talking about, these vibratory imprints, well, it's most effective. Like think of a signal sent from a satellite. So like a satellite, when it sends out a signal, well, of course it's strongest in the like immediate area and local area. So if you send out a frequency or an intention, of course it's strongest like right where you are to your mom. Your mom's gonna be more affected by it than your, I don't know, person who lives 10 blocks away. Um, or I mean, with the internet these days, of course, like if you interact with a person online, if you just watch YouTube videos of someone who lives in like China, then of course that person is gonna affect you more than person who's living in like the next state over that unit that you don't really know. So that's Morphic Resonance, or the Akashic Records. So I hope you understand that or do your research. Morphic Resonance, the Akashic Records. And I also want to talk about, so of a new example of yin and yang, um, like Drake and Josh, from Drake and Josh. So it can probably best be seen in scenes like how uh, I think Josh, he folded Drake's laundry and organized them, and like Drake was like, "Why is my laundry all like organized and it's all color coded and stuff?" Like Josh was like, "You should thank me for organizing them." And Josh was like, "No, I like it like this, like all messy and stuff." And so masculine and feminine energy is probably pretty easy to tell which is which. And I also want to talk about um, antinatalism and why I stopped turning blood at the Red Cross a lot. Some people I think still don't get it. I just stopped doing blood at the Red Cross because thing is very immoral. How like saving lives is that really good thing? Because life is inherent suffering, and I've had near death experience myself, so I know for a fact that the afterlife is much better than this one. So even if you think you want to stay alive and stay in this reality, you're wrong. The afterlife is much better. Um, yeah, I think yeah, donating blood is highly immoral, and the reason I don't promote suicide is because I listen to what psychics say about people who commit suicide, and uh, it sounds pretty terrible. Like if you die from natural causes, then you get to like quote unquote heaven, but if you commit suicide, I'm not so sure. Um, so yeah, I definitely don't think you should donate blood. I think you should get your priority straight. Donating blood sounds really immoral. And the last thing I want to talk about, avocados. I no longer eat avocados. My family does, and they ask me why, and not sure should I tell them how. Will it just annoy them to not think it's one more thing you have to give up to be like vegan, or so no, I don't eat avocados because I know avocados are mostly grown like Chile, Mexico, Guatemala, so very poor countries, and countries that are run by gangs or like drug cartels. And I know there's a lot of violence with the avocados, where the gangs will hold the farmers hostages, and will like tell them, hey, give us a good portion of your avocado money, or we're gonna burn down all your avocado orchards. And yeah, so avocado is probably not very good for the environment. They use a lot of water, so um and I'm also wondering about Misfits Market. Should I continue doing it? Cause and they also sell meat and seafood and dairy, and I think, wow, if they're trying to be that sustainable, why are you promoting not being vegan? So let me know in the comments. Should I give up Misfits Market? I'm starting to think Misfits Market is kind of stupid. And another thing I want to say about Misfits Market, very few of what I've received from them has been ugly. Like, I mean, what they advertise is like misshapen produce, but so far I haven't really gotten anything that's like misshapen that looks just like the same stuff you get at the grocery store. So maybe like there's a spot on apples sometimes, but um kind of concerned about how their pears that I've been getting from them. The pears have taken like a really long time to ripen. Like I've had them for weeks, and they barely get softer at all. It's like I kind of worry about pesticides, or like ripening, or spud inhibitors or something like that. So yeah, I think you should start demanding ugly produce, because if you didn't know so far, like baby carrots are one example how any baby carrots are just taken from like the farmers. They take the misshapen carrots, or the carrots that grow too big that don't have any market value, and they run them through machines, and machines slice them up, and they get rinsed in chlorine to preserve them, and that's baby carrots. So they put them through machines, and what comes out on the other side is baby carrots. So I think baby carrots are worthless now. So maybe if people are more likely to eat that ugly produce, like the oranges that grow green and don't turn orange because their chlorophyll doesn't die, they buy it. So yeah, demand ugly produce, and do dumpster diving, because uh, grocery stores throw out so much produce, it's just a complete waste. They throw away more good food. It's the $165 billion, and that's more than we spend on, I think, libraries, schools, like veterans affairs, yeah, a lot of stuff. So uh, take this all into consideration and tell me about should I give up Message Market? Okay, goodbye.